Survival is a lie. You were born in the frozen silence of the north. But today, you will die in the suffocating heat of the furnace. What you are about to witness is not a documentary. It is a biological execution. For 1,000,000 years, the African Savannah has been a closed club. A guild of professional killers. Lions. Hyenas. Leopards. They own the dust. They own the blood. It is an ecosystem tuned to the frequency of a scream. But we are about to break the rules. We are taking a ghost. A phantom of the Yukon. The gray wolf. And we are dropping him into the heart of the fire. The master of the ice. Versus the lords of the sun. This is not a fair fight. It is a war of attrition where the landscape itself wants you dead. The experiment begins. Now. Imagine a world where your very skin becomes your coffin. The gray wolf arrives. He is a masterpiece of evolution, designed for the -40-degree winds of the Arctic. His double-layered coat is a thermal shield, a suit of armor against the frost. But here, under the Tanzanian sun, that armor becomes a straitjacket. The temperature climbs. 90 degrees. 100. 110. The wolf is breathing, but he is not inhaling air. He is inhaling fire. Every breath is a desperate, frantic struggle to dump heat. In the north, he is a tireless engine of endurance. Here, he is an engine on the verge of melting down. His pulse is a hammer against his ribs. If his biology does not shatter and rebuild itself within days, the experiment ends before a single drop of blood is spilled. But the heat is only the first assassin. The second is the light. In the Yukon, the wolf is a king of the open day. He moves with impunity across the white expanse. But in Africa, the sun is a spotlight for his enemies. To survive, the wolf must go against every instinct he possesses. He must become a creature of the shadows. He must learn to crawl through the dirt. He is no longer the predator. He is a trespasser in a crowded room. And every pair of eyes in the tall grass is watching the intruder. A jackal passes by. It stops. It smells something impossible. Something cold. Something alien. The alpha wolf snaps his jaws, a reflex of dominance, but he is too exhausted to follow through. He retreats into the shade of an acacia tree. He is learning the first rule of the savannah: energy is more valuable than gold. Water is a memory. The hunger is a hollow ache. To live, they must kill. But the menu in this land is armed to the teeth. The sun sinks, leaving a sky the color of a fresh bruise. The air cools just enough for the invaders to move. Hunger drives the pack onto the open plains. They see them. The blue wildebeest. Thousands of them. A shifting, grunting sea of muscle and bone. In the north, the pack hunts elk. They are marathon runners. They chase their prey for miles, a slow, methodical dismantling of the victim's will. They wait for the collapse. But the wildebeest is not an elk. The wildebeest is a tank with a hair trigger. The wolves fan out. They use the old tactics. They announce their presence, hoping for a stampede, hoping to find the weak, the old, the slow. But the geometry of the hunt is wrong. The dust rises in a thick, choking cloud, blinding the wolves, clogging their sensitive noses. In America, prey runs away. In Africa, the prey turns around. The alpha targets a straggler. He lunges, aiming for the haunch. But the wildebeest doesn't flee. It pivots. A massive, keratin-shielded head swings like a wrecking ball. The impact is a sickening thud. The wolf is tossed 6 feet into the air. His ribs, designed to withstand the kicks of a deer, snap like dry kindling under the weight of African fury. The pack must adapt. Now, they switch to a circle. 2 wolves dance in front, a hypnotic distraction, dodging the lethal horns. 3 others strike from the rear. They don't just bite, they anchor. They use their weight to drag the beast down. But the wildebeest's hide is like cured leather, caked in abrasive grit that blunts the wolf's teeth. It is a messy, brutal, agonizing struggle. There is no grace here. Only the raw physics of survival. Finally, the beast falls. The pack swarms. They eat with a desperate, frantic speed. They don't look at the meat. They look at the horizon. Because in Africa, dinner is a dinner bell for the monsters. Listen. The silence of the night is broken. Not by a howl, but by a giggle. A high-pitched, manic cackle that echoes like a madman's laughter. The spotted hyenas have arrived. This is the ultimate collision. The wolf versus the hyena. 2 apex predators, 2 different philosophies of violence. The wolf is a surgeon's blade, precise, tactical, disciplined. The hyena is a sledgehammer. Hyenas are not dogs. They are something older, something more primal. They are built for the grind. Their hearts are massive, their lungs are bellows, and their jaws. Their jaws can exert over 1,000 pounds of pressure. They don't just eat meat. They eat the skeleton. And they are not alone. A wolf pack is a family. A hyena clan is a mob. The wolves stand their ground over the wildebeest carcass. Fur stands on end. Low, vibrating growls meet the hysterical shrieks of the clan. The alpha wolf lunges, a flash of gray fur, snapping at the throat of the lead hyena. He is faster. He is more agile. But the hyena doesn't care about the pain. The hyena's skin is a thick, rubbery shield. It absorbs the bite. And then, the counterstrike. A hyena clamps onto the front leg of a wolf. Asterisk crack. The sound of the bone snapping is louder than the wind. The mathematics of the fight have shifted. The wolves are outnumbered 3 to 1. The hyenas don't fight with honor, they fight with weight. They rush in waves, biting, retreating, laughing. The alpha wolf looks at his pack. He sees the blood. He sees the exhaustion. He realizes that in this land, the bold don't live long. He gives the signal. The wolves retreat. They abandon the kill. They watch from the darkness as the hyenas tear the carcass apart, the sound of crunching bone filling the night air. In Yellowstone, the wolf is the law. Here, he is a refugee. To survive the night, he must learn the most bitter lesson of all, humility. Weeks turn into months. The simulation continues. The pack is smaller now. The weak have been called. But the survivors, they are changing. The heavy winter coats are gone, replaced by thin, wiry fur. They are leaner. Their bodies have shed the bulk, revealing a frame of pure sinew. They look less like the giants of the north and more like the ghosts of the desert. They approach a watering hole. The air is thick with the scent of mud and ancient things. Then, the ground begins to vibrate. It isn't a sound you hear with your ears. It's a sound you feel in your marrow. A low, guttural rumble that commands the atoms of the air to stop moving. The pride. A male lion, 500 pounds of golden muscle and absolute authority, steps out of the tall grass. Behind him, the lionesses move like shadows. The wolves freeze. They have faced grizzly bears. They have stared down cougars. But this is different. This is a god of the plains. A single lioness fixes her gaze on the alpha. She doesn't growl. She doesn't posture. She simply walks toward him. The scale of the threat is incomprehensible. A wolf's weapon is his mouth. A lion is a platform of 5 weapons, 4 sets of retractable hooks and a bite that can crush a skull like a grape. The wolves do not fight. They do not even try. They turn and vanish into the scrub. They run until their lungs burn and the scent of the lion is a mile away. There is no what if here. There is no battle. There is only the hierarchy. The lion is the king. The wolf is a ghost. If the gray wolf is to exist in Africa, he must live in the cracks. He must find the narrow, dangerous space between the lion's pride and the hyena's clan. He must become a shadow walker, a scavenger of opportunities, a master of the peripheral. Years pass. Generations are born. The simulation reaches its conclusion. Look at them now. Are they still gray wolves? The animal standing on that rocky outcrop is something new. Evolution has carved away the north and replaced it with the grit of the south. Its ears are larger, tuned to catch the faintest whisper of a predator's footstep. Its legs are longer, built for the sun-baked clay. Its coat is the color of dead grass. The alpha lifts his head. He doesn't howl the long, mournful song of the Yukon. He emits a short, sharp bark, a signal of tactical efficiency. They move with a terrifying, silent synchronization. They isolate an impala. They strike with the speed of a serpent, kill with the precision of a scalpel, and fade back into the thorns before the lions even know they were there. Could the gray wolf survive in Africa? Yes. But at a price. Africa would take everything that makes him a wolf and strip it away. It would harden his heart. It would sharpen his fear. It would turn the king of the north into an outlaw of the south. Nature does not care about your legacy. It only cares about your adaptability. From the ice to the fire, the wolf has found his place. Not as a conqueror, but as a survivor. The ghost of the north has finally found its home in the nightmare.